Judge Junior is the people's judge. He's fair.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And I apologize for the issue that happened.
He's honest.
He said, she said, she
It
said,
is
he
a
said.
he said, she said situation.
Let's stop right there.
He's also a no-nonsense judge.
I want facts.
All rise.
It's now time to enter the courtroom of Judge Junior, the people's judge. The plaintiff, Monica Salvo, is suing the defendant, Ken Parnell, in the amount of $7,500 for emotional stress because the defendant thought her son was his grandson when he picked the boy up from school. The defendant says it's an honest mistake. He simply grabbed the wrong kid. It's time for the hot seat.
I don't care how old he is, how blind he is. He took my son, and he needs to compensate us.
Yeah, I made a simple mistake. Yeah, maybe it was a senior mistake, but I didn't hurt anyone. I took the wrong kid to get some candy. It's probably a good lesson for the whole family.
All right, Miss Salvo, you're suing Mr. Parnell for $7,500 because he picked up the wrong Jaden from school. Tell me about it.
Well, I got a phone call from the daycare saying that my son did not arrive and that they were concerned he was missing. So I drove over to the school and I found out he was not there.
What time does daycare begin?
At 3 p.m.
What time did you get the call?
I got the call at 3:05. And so at that point I knew there was a problem because he wasn't at the school, and so I drove immediately over there.
Where were you?
I was doing my part-time job.
So you left your job to go?
I left my job that's why we do the daycare, the after-school program, because I don't get out in time to go ahead and get him. So we do the after-school program. But in any case, what wound up happening is that this man, Mr. Parnell, took my child. And he says it was an accident, but when you do those things, it's extremely scary and traumatic for a child that's 6 years old. And so what had happened is he got out of school, and then he came up to him, he grabbed his hand and said, "Jaden, your mom wanted me to pick you up." And so my son was confused but thought, okay, he knows my name. He said, my mom wanted me to pick him up. I thought I was going to after school, but I guess I should follow him. And so he went and did that, and he took him to what I found out later was a candy store.
So Mr. Parnell, you were saying intentionally took your child?
Well, he went up to my child and said, "Jaden, my mother told me to pick you up today."
My
grabbed
mother?
his hand. I'm sorry?
His mother told him?
That's what he told my son. He said, "Your mother told me to pick you up, and so I'm taking you." And so he thought, okay, that's strange. She didn't tell me about this, but okay, he knows my name. And he grabbed my hand and took her into the car. And so he went along, and then he took him to a candy store. And that's when Jaden said, "Wait a second." He's like, "I'm not allowed to eat candy. It's not good for my body."
Did he tell this to Mr. Parnell?
Yes, he did. He said, "I'm not allowed to eat candy. My mom says I can't have it because he has an allergic reaction." And so it was at that point that I think Mr. Parnell realized, wait a second, this is not the right trial.
So what exactly happened? Did he take him away far off after that?
So he took however long it took. I don't know where this candy store was, but then he showed up at the school and the daycare center at 3:30. He didn't talk to anyone. My kid, because I was standing there, I had called the police at that point, and my kid
So bottom line is at 3:30, your kid comes running up to you. You didn't see Mr. Parnell.
He just turned and walked. He basically drove up. My kid ran out, and then he drove off. And I'm like, what just happened?
Okay, let's stop right there. So, Mr. Parnell, you dropped the mistaken Jaden off, and you just drove off. You didn't pick up the real Jaden?
No, of course I did.
So tell me what happened.
Well, I'm reconciling with my family. I've lived out of the country for about 30 years, and I'm trying to get to know them better. And
Mr. Parnell, why were you away from your family for 30 years?
I was in Spain following my dream. I was a pebble artist, sir.
Pebble artist, what is that?
Well, it's an art form that's kind of rare where you use pebbles to make statues and pictures. That was my dream, and I followed my dream.
You followed your dream.
That's right.
But you couldn't follow the right Jaden home.
Well, Jaden, actually, I thought it was a type of stone I used to use. I don't know.
But it's not a stone, it's your grandchild.
I know. But
and it was the wrong child.
Since both of my relatives work, my son and his wife both work, they asked me, would I, in an emergency situation, go get Jaden at school? Mm-hmm. I get to the school, I see a bunch of kids playing, I yell the name Jaden out. Now, how many Jadens there are, I don't know. But
don't you know about your Jaden and how he looks?
Well, I know him, but he's a 6-year-old, and I have only met him once or twice, and a lot of the children look the same. And
a lot of the children look the same, so you can differentiate between a male child and a female child, correct? How hard is it to distinguish your child from another child?
Well, I agree with that, and I wasn't wearing my glasses. I did make a mistake, but I yelled out Jaden, and this boy came running out of he had a hat on, he came running up to me.
Mr. Parnell, are you nearsighted or farsighted?
Well, I use my glasses for driving.
So you can't see far away.
Right.
So when the wrong Jaden came up close to you, you didn't notice it wasn't your Jaden?
Well, he was wearing a hat, and to be honest with you, I don't know my grandson that well, and he came with me. I did make a mistake, and he got in the car, and he wouldn't talk to me.
When you got in the car, did you put your glasses on to drive?
I did.
Okay, and when did you speak to this other Jaden?
I tried to.
You tried to, what happened to your throat?
I spoke, the child did not answer, sir. I think he was a mute.
Okay, what did you ask him? Because he's not a mute.
Ask him how it went at school today, or what's going on, what are you studying, what are you doing, basic questions you'd ask the child. And we went just a few blocks to a candy store, and I let him buy a bag of candy. He filled it up.
This whole time you're not recognizing this is not your grandchild.
Right. But
have you ever seen your grandchild before this date and time?
I have seen him, yes.
Just from the backside, I guess?
No, I've seen him quickly from the front.
Quickly? Does he run by you and say, hi, Grandpa, and going like that?
He's not a good, very fast runner, I guess.
Well, I'm just worried about your eyesight and the fact that you can't recognize your grandson from another child. This is very disturbing.
I agree it was a mistake. I've agreed all along it was an innocent mistake. But he wouldn't speak to me until the candy issue came up, and he was worried about eating the candy, and I finally figured out I had the wrong Jaden.
Okay, I'm worried about a few things. Let's stop right there.
All right.
So tell me about this trauma that you're saying was experienced by your son from getting some candy.
So my son went through this. So first of all, he doesn't eat candy. He has an allergic reaction. So I took him to the emergency room, made sure that he wanted to get checked out.
The emergency room?
Yes.
What was wrong with him?
Well, he had an allergic reaction to candy.
Which
he doesn't eat candy. So he gets hives.
So he got hives?
Yeah, and so the thing is, I have the medical bill from the urgent care.
Has he gotten hives before from candy?
Yeah, that's why he doesn't eat it.
Now, the other times he got hives, did you rush him to the emergency room?
Well, initially, yes, and then once we found out what was going on, but I didn't know what was clearly going on because he wasn't speaking. He was so scared. And so I thought, okay, did something else happen that I don't know about?
Do you have any evidence for the court today?
I do. I have the emergency room visit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, emergency room fees, immunization and vaccination in pharmacy. $2,500 for hives, which again has happened before, and you knew this happened before. So you didn't really go for the hives. You said you went because you thought something else might be the matter.
I didn't know, and I care about my child. I didn't want to have anything else. I didn't know what had happened because he only told me I had to eat the candy. I had to follow him, and so
take
I
a
was
deep
worried.
breath. This is okay. He's
Yeah.
fine now. You're also asking for $5,000 for this trauma. In my mind, eating candy isn't very traumatic, but we'll stop right there. Mr. Parnell, so
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me something. When you have your actual grandson, how did you get him from the school? You came back, you realized you had the wrong Jaden, and now you pick up the correct Jaden. The plaintiff says you just dropped off her son and went out like a bat out of hell. Is that what happened?
No.
You did pick up the correct grandson.
Yes. What was
Okay.
the question again?
When you realized you had the wrong Jaden,
Yes.
and you went back and dropped off the wrong Jaden, you did pick up the right Jaden.
Yes,
I mean,
I
and how could you tell it was him?
Yes,
so
Your
many Jadens around, all looking the same.
Well, that's true, but I called out his name, Jaden, which is an unusual name to begin with. He came to the car, and I asked him what his parents' names were.
So this time you asked him what his parents' names
That's
were.
correct, I did. I had made a mistake before. There's no doubt about that. But it isn't worth any money. It was a simple error. No harm came to them. In fact, they may have benefited from learning a lesson.
Ms. Salvo, I have a feeling that, and this could be just my interpretation, but it seems like you are a very caring parent, maybe an over-anxiously caring parent.
I was really worried.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the trauma that was received from the child may have come from you, from this overbearingness, from this concern, from this over-concern. All that really happened was for about 20 minutes, he went in with a very kind young gentleman and got some candy.
I understand that. As a result, my son, he's very scared to even leave the house. He's scared of
You
strangers.
probably
He's
have
scared
told
of
him it's not
everything.
safe to leave the house.
No, that is not true. And so that's why, when he was so traumatized by this older gentleman, that's why I took him to the emergency
Here's
room.
what is true,
and
Miss
I said,
Salvo.
what can I do
Here's what is
so
true,
he
Miss
can
Salvo.
feel safe?
You seem traumatized by this event. So I'm sure that's why the child is also traumatized. Mr. Parnell,
Yes, sir.
keep
Yes,
your
sir.
glasses on at all times from now on, and make sure you get the right grandchild. This
Yes, Your
case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Junior has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
Clearly, Mr. Parnell doesn't care about children and doesn't care if he picks up a child that's not his. And he obviously doesn't care about the emotional distress that he's given my son either.
Well, obviously, I'm very happy about the decision. The judge is very wise and made a proper decision. I would never hurt a child.